Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you wherever you are in the world. I'm Sandra Champlain. Welcome to our Sunday gathering. You might be able to see a little Christmas decorations behind me and maybe some Christmas elves. Christmas came early for me this year. Look who's here with me.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Kerry. Hello, Phil.
Hello.
I couldn't be any happier. For our newcomers, this is Kerry and Phil. They started their Sunday gathering with me, along with our friends Darren and Scott. And they just came from an event called the Galt Gathering. They were up in Ontario, Canada, doing a week's workshop. And then afterwards, they flew down to Boston, Massachusetts to spend some time with me. So I'm so grateful. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I haven't seen them in 3 years, and they're my best friends, two of my best friends in the universe. So a warm welcome. Kerry has created our Sunday gathering today. She's picked the music, our theme, and I'm going to let her explain a little bit more about what's going to happen. So welcome.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to come to you from the USA in the room next door to where Sandra is. It's lovely to be here. The theme for this week is one voice, coming together with one voice, one theme. So I've asked Phil to do the opening prayer. Sandra will be doing our reading. I'm going to do our address. Phil is going to be delivering the mediumship for today. And then Sandra's going to deliver some words of the week before we close in prayer by myself. And then we send you into the week to come. So I'm going to ask Phil to open in prayer.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Sandra. And hello to everyone out there. It is that time on the Sunday gathering, we all come together under what we call prayer. So whoever you believe in, what force you believe in, let's go into that prayer together, united. Great, infinite Spirit, we sit before you once more under that banner of We Don't Die, that banner that strikes and tells of truth, inspiration, healing, and comfort. But as we gather here today within this love, within this theme of one voice, we ask for those voices to be heard from the spirit world, but also for those hearts to be healed here within the audience, letting us know that your loved ones are still there, guiding and caring for us. It is, Father, that intention of that love, that upliftment, and that actual positivity to be struck within our hearts, to move us forward, to be the best people that we can be within this world. As we always, Father, we leave this service in your care and your keeping, but most of all, your love. Amen.
Thank you so much, Phil. And just to let you know, Darren is moving house today, so he's not with us. Well, I am providing the reading, and this is a true story. More than a decade ago, a man was reading his morning newspaper. To his surprise and horror, he read his name in the obituary column. Can you imagine? The newspapers had mistakenly reported the death of the wrong person for sure. He was so shocked to read a news headline about his own death. When he regained his composure, he read it to find out what people had said about him. The obituary included sentences like, "Dynamite King dies," and "He was the merchant of death." The man was actually the inventor of dynamite, and when he read the words "merchant of death," he asked himself a question. Is this how I am going to be remembered? He decided that this was not the way he wanted to be remembered and decided to make a change in his life. From that day on, this 55-year-old man started working toward world peace. His name was Alfred Nobel, and he is remembered today by the Great Nobel Prize, the greatest of all prizes. The Nobel Prize has been honoring men and women from all corners of the globe for outstanding achievement in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and for work in peace. since 1901. The foundations for the prize were laid in 1895, when Alfred Nobel wrote his last will, leaving much of his wealth to the establishment of the Nobel Prize. So what's the moral of this story? Well, it's never too late to start over. Have you thought about your own legacy, the kind of obituary that you would like to receive? Rather than being a depressive thought, it can be an affirmative one. We are all mortal, and we are all leaving some kind of legacy. The Nobel story reminds us that it is never too late for us to refine ourselves and do the things that we can to leave the legacy we wish. And as Alfred Nobel teaches us, age need not be a barrier to our own becoming. We write the words that become the pages, the chapters, and the books of our lives. True story, I told you. We're going to go into our healing now, and you can reflect on that. I know we all have hopes and dreams, and maybe you feel it's a little too late in life to do so. Well, it never is, ever. As we go into our healing, it's a beautiful piece that Kerry picked out. You'll know the song, True Colors, but think about not only yourself, but others. What are their true colors? We often see other people for who they really are. And of course, they live in the illusion that they're not good enough or not smart enough. So through our healing, what if we all imagine people coming to realize their greatness, who they really are for the world, letting their light shine instead of those self-defeating statements like not good enough, not smart enough, etc. What if we imagine people transforming into healthy, well, and whole? What if we imagine people transforming the planet? Because peace starts within, and so on, and so on, and so on. So sit back, relax, enjoy the song. Just send your loving intentions for a world of peace and people knowing their own beauty. Here we go.
Isn't it lovely, that reading Sandra gave about legacy? I don't know how many of you actually knew that story beforehand, but I didn't. And isn't it strange at this time of year, we can sometimes think about the legacy we're leaving behind. That legacy about what difference we've made to people, how we stand within their thoughts, what we've said, what we've done through the year. We're in that month of December, the end of the natural calendar year, where we take into our own what we've done and what others have shared with us. Legacy is a very strange thing because it gets us looking about the past. It gets us remembering what we've done and what we've said in the past. It gets us wondering, how will other people remember us from what we've done in the past? But making a legacy, that relies on us moving into the future. Making the legacy relies on what we do today and tomorrow. And the theme that I chose, one voice, was because if we had one voice, what sort of legacy could we leave? What sort of legacy would we have within our planet if everybody on it had one voice? And that got me thinking to the way that we interact with one another and what we can do for one another with one voice. Many of you might have heard stories about having infinite games or finite games. Now, I'm not saying life is a game, but if we were to liken it to that for a moment, the finite game is having a set amount of rules, knowing what the outcome is going to be, knowing how to tell if you had won, and knowing that your aim was to be better than the next person. Whereas an infinite game, the rules are written by you The aim is not to be better than the next person, but to be better than you were yesterday. If we were to look at our life as an infinite game, then we might look at it slightly differently. If we have a look at two names you might have heard of, Apple and Microsoft. There was a time where Microsoft was aiming to be better than its competitors, and Apple was aiming to be better than it was yesterday. Now, whether you liken yourself to developing self in that way, or whether you like to think of yourself evolving into a better version of who you are leading the way in some way. You're showing with your voice how you can be. If you are working to a set of rules that are unknown, if you're working to a set of rules that are set by you, that have your voice, then everybody will be able to recognize that. You might have met somebody and you hear their voice and the way they speak, and then you might read something that they have actually written and you can hear their voice coming through that. Now, many of you might have written the book that Sandra wrote. You will be able to tell that you can hear her voice through that. Wayne Dyer wrote many books. You can hear his voice coming through that. And his voice and Sandra's voice resonate across the planet now. Many people using that expression of the voice to have the message. Now, you don't need to write a book. You don't even need to be known by millions of people. What you need is to have your voice. If your voice is strong enough and true enough and resonates with people enough, your voice will become the voice of many. If your voice has a truth to it that people understand and can accept, then you become the leader that they choose to follow. If you were to become the leader, how many of you would resist? How many of you would say, oh, no, don't follow me. I always pick the wrong avenue. I always pick the wrong path. But in actual fact, I wonder if the path you pick is the path that other people need to see and hear expressed and spoken about. We think about leaders being the people that we've elected, but actually the leaders of our world are the people we resonate and choose to be with. The leaders of our world are the silent leaders, the people who behave and show their empathy and their truth in a way that often doesn't even need to be spoken. It's about demonstrating the way. Our spiritual leaders have demonstrated the right way. Our spiritual teachers have spoken and walked the right way. If you were to find your voice and then find out that other people resonated with that, I wonder what would happen within you if you suddenly found that people were following you. Now, I'm not talking social media. I'm not talking 100 likes or so many followers. I'm speaking about people around the world who say, I saw this person and they spoke a truth. I heard this person and they resonated with me. I saw something they wrote and it spoke such honesty to me, and they repeat it. Your voice then becomes theirs. Their voice then becomes another voice in another set of ears. If we do this, we become one voice. We Don't Die has become one voice of many. You know that, and I know that. The message is the same. The voice is the same. We know the legacy that is on its way to being made. That legacy is a truth that we do physically die, but we do not leave life. We continue in a different form. in a world unseen, a form that is felt, that is known, that is spiritually and emotionally present. The only thing that's missing is the physical presence. And at times that physical presence can be such an ache within our hearts that we fail to remember the spiritual and emotional presence, that they can hear our voice, that they can see us, and that they are noticing the legacy that we are making, that legacy that comes true. And then when we take our last breath here and move to the spirit world, well, we get to see the legacy that we've made. We get to see the difference that we've made. You get to see the difference that you've made. So don't make the legacy about things that you have done. That's there already. Make the legacy about what you can do. That is setting your infinite future. That is setting how you are seen, felt, and known in the days to come. Make your voice count. Make your voice matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Beautiful, beautiful words. You know, ladies and gentlemen, having Kerry and Phil be my house guests this week, we've been doing a lot of talking and thinking about the spirit world. I've been able to eavesdrop a little bit when they've been in the office and teaching students about mediumship and how to connect. And I've missed them. I mean, it's been 3 years since I've seen them face to face. I'm thankful for Zoom, but 3 years. But there's just been something extra special about having them here and also really feeling that presence of the spirit world with our conversations. And so it's important, vitally important for us to share our next part, which is our demonstration of mediumship with you. It's an opportunity to see mediums in action and rejoice with the presence of our loved ones. You know, I've been to similar things as our Sunday gathering years ago, smaller things, and I would just hope and pray that my loved one would come through. And the truth is, I didn't listen to the information coming from other people's loved ones because I was waiting for my person. Well, don't be caught up thinking your person only shows up maybe once a week on a Sunday. Your people for sure continue to live on in the spirit world. They're learning, they're growing, but they're just a thought or a breath away, and they can multitask. So they're often by your side. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're by your side right now. Everybody likes to join in on our music and our Sunday gathering, but they're here with you. So when our medium today, which is Phil, when he works, I ask everybody to be on the edge of your seat listening, because there is gold in every conversation. In fact, I'm getting a little bit of gold right now. Hi, Kerry.
Hello, Sandra. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're catching our Sunday gathering a little bit late, you will know that Kerry and Phil are my guests for the week, and they'll be heading back home to England tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Kerry, as she disappears. So again, be on the edge of your seat listening in, because the messages are for all, and you can tell just how close our loved ones really are. And they're with us. We're going into Christmas time, and I tell you, your loved ones are rejoicing in part of your family, just as they ever were. So with that, Phil will be our demonstrating medium today. And not only is he a longtime medium, but he keeps studying himself and being the best he can be, sitting regularly for the spirit world. You will hear some initial bits of information come out about the spirit person that has contacted him. And when I say contacted him, as much as we put our requests out there, like the three of us today are on the controls of the Sunday gathering, well, we've got a team that's on the controls from the spirit world. So they know just who's going to come through, how it's going to work. They probably planted the seed for our music and for our theme in Kerry's mind. So Phil will deliver some initial bits of information by the spirit person who's contacted him. He'll do the best to sum those up in a few brief statements. Really listen in. Do you understand all the information that he's given? If you can understand 100% of the information that he's described about the spirit person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, I know we've got some new friends here with us today, and it's also a good time for you to stretch your fingers. Go find that raise hand button wherever it is on your device and press it for me, will you? just to see how it works on your side. Even if you've done this 142 times, yes, that's how old our Sunday gathering is, do it anyways. Why not? And now it should say lower hand, so you can press the lower hand and you'll see your hand goes down. Now, those of you who are out for a walk or multitasking, you may accidentally be pressing your raise hand button. And we might call upon you and you say, oh, what? That was a mistake. So right now I see Janet S. with your hand still up. Janet, you want to press your lower hand button. And that's how it works. Sometimes there are 2 or 3 people that can take the information, and you'll see Phil work too. We'll try to bring it down to 1 person. So again, we ask if you can accept all the information to press your raise hand. If you are a person that works with Phil, I will press the magic button on my side that says the host would like you to unmute yourself. So you just press unmute so that we can hear your voice. You don't have an unmute button yet, but you will if you work with Phil. And your job is actually quite easy. We allow our mediums, and we recommend you do this with mediums that you see or talk to. All you need to do is say yes or no to their information. They have thick skin. Don't worry about saying no. No just means a new opportunity. And if you don't understand, you can let them know that. But what we don't want is for you to be so excited. You can be excited, but don't volunteer information about your loved one, okay? Because we don't want you leaving thinking that, ooh, did Phil give me that information or did I say it? We want evidence that the spirit world is working with Phil. So it's pretty much just as easy as that. If I've missed something, we'll figure it out. Either one of them will show up behind me like the little elves, or we never know how it goes. So what we like to do is we like to play a piece of music that feels good. And all I ask you to do is just sit back, relax, visualize your loved ones with you. You know, they work through our imagination. If you ever think you catch a loved one out of the corner of your eye or in your dreams, or you just kind of feel like they're around, they work through our imagination. So give them a little head start and just see them at their healthiest, wellest, most fabulous selves, or how you remember them, and just rejoice during our piece of music. So let me play it for you. Well, you knew there had to be a little Sandra magic in there somewhere, didn't you? Hello, Phil.
Hello, Sandra. Hello to everybody out there as well. And welcome to that cheeky little girl that keeps on popping up at the side of you, Sandra. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you all. And I've got to say, we've loved staying with Sandra because we've seen all the critters, and more critters than we can handle, sort of thing. It has been a true delight. And it's always a delight, ladies and gentlemen, to be here with you on the Sunday gathering. So without further ado, my job is to bring those loved ones forwards, or to be that messenger of what they inspire me to say. So as I move my mind to the spirit world and I become aware of the spirit world, I know I want to talk about Father in the spirit world. And I know Father should be called Tom, because I keep on hearing that name with me as well. But I also get the impression with Tom that he used to be what I call that it's almost where I want to say he loved to be around the family. It's almost I want to see everyone doing well. I want to be involved in everything. So I just get that sense with him. He's a very family orientated gentleman as well. But I also know he was that man that would never tell you I told you so, would always be quite compassionate and nurturing as well. So I know I have Father, I know his name should be Tom, and you should understand that personality and characteristics that I said.
Thank you very much, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand all that information, go ahead and press your raise hand button now that you know where it is. All right, we have a nice lady named Mary with her hand raised. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Hello, Mary. You understand everything I've said?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And with your dad, with your father, would I be right in saying he loved nothing more than being with the family?
Yes.
And if I said that he loved nothing more than being with the family, he loved to know everyone's business and just interact with them.
Yes.
And it's almost where I want to have a laugh and a joke and get down to their level, whether you're an adult or whether you're a child.
At times, yes.
Because I know there's this impression with him, and I want to keep things positive. I want to have that sense of fun with him.
Yes.
But I also know towards that latter stage of his life, he had to really dig deep within to try and keep that positivity.
Yes, that would be right.
Because again, I just keep on getting that sense with him as well. But I also feel with your father that he liked to point things out. He was what I call a nurturer. He liked to almost show you what's going on in nature and everything else.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that he was, like I said before, he wasn't that gentleman that would say, I told you so. He had that gentle way about him of picking you up.
Yes.
And I also believe that your father, when I said he liked to be out in nature, would have loved to be at beaches near the sea as well.
Yes. He
And
did.
it's almost where I want to, and I've got a feeling here. Would I be right in saying he was losing his hair?
No.
Okay, thank you for that good solid no. Then if I'm understanding it, because I thought he was having a joke, he did have a good sense of humor though.
Yes.
Because I just got the sense of the wind blowing in my hair. And I just thought, well, I've got no hair, but I know that's which is just his sense of humor. But he loved to be outdoors in that freedom by the sea.
Absolutely.
And he could spend quite some time there by himself as well.
I'm not sure on that one.
You're not sure? Would I be right in saying he liked his alone time as well?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Because I know there's a sense here that I can't come away from, because it does feel where I want to be with the family, I want to celebrate, I want my days out, I want those adventures with the beach, with the family, but I also know I like my own time where I could reflect and really get that understanding of life as well.
Yes, I understand that.
Would I also be right in saying with your father that he would have an engineering mind as well?
Not
Please say
really.
no, we don't understand.
No, I don't understand that.
Would I be right in saying he used to like his automobiles and airplanes and things?
No.
He didn't. Let me just work with this for a second, Mary. If I'm right, he wouldn't interfere in things that he didn't know a great deal about.
Correct.
Thank you. Such as cars, automobiles, trains, planes.
Correct.
Thank you. Because I know he keeps on showing me, and as you said no, I thought, where have I misunderstood this? But I get that sense here, he would always leave that side of things to the experts.
Yes.
But I know here, you couldn't ask for a better man to be dad or be that family man either.
Correct.
Because I know there's a gentleness to him, but I also know there's a truth to him as well, where he would always stand by his word.
Absolutely.
And if I said to you as well, Mary, that he said he was going to do something, he would always do it for you.
Correct.
Because I know there's a sense where he was talked to before he passes about the spirit world.
I don't know.
You don't know that. Because I just get the sense he's still looking over and taking care of the family and yourself as well. Mary, just bear with me for a second. Would I also be right in saying you have a husband in the spirit world?
Correct.
And with your husband, would I also be right in saying with him, he was more outgoing than your dad?
Correct.
And if I also said with your husband, he liked sport?
Correct.
But I like all kinds of different sport to watch.
Correct.
But I also feel he played a sport as well.
Correct.
And that would involve walking.
Yes.
Long walking.
Yes.
Because it feels like I want to go walking 18 holes of golf.
Yeah.
Because again, it's almost like I've got a long walk, I can have a good talk. And he must have gone playing golf with friends and socializing as well.
Yes.
And what I also say, it wasn't just socializing, it was also business as well. Because it
No.
feels I want to talk about things going on in the world. Not just,
yes.
That's fine,
yes.
because I know I've got this. But again, would I be also correct in saying you've still got his golf clubs and bags?
Yeah, my son's got them here.
That's fine, because I know he keeps on showing me the same thing over and over and over, but I know it's about being kept within the family. But I've got to say this, whoever's got them, as you've just said, I can't remember because my mind shifted, but it just feels he's not as good as dad. Oh, sorry, your
Correct.
husband. Okay.
It's true.
Okay, because it just feels here, I can't hit the ball straight. And I know your husband would have a sense of humor who he played with if he couldn't hit it in a straight line.
Yeah.
But I also feel with your husband, there was a fun side to him as well.
Absolutely.
Because it feels like I want to do a little spot of cheating and drop the ball in a place and say, oh, I'm here. Because I've got that sense, because I just know that he needs to have that almost sense of personality that I'm larger than life at times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he would keep people on the edge of their seats and on their tiptoes because you never knew exactly what he was going to do.
That would be right.
But I also know this, he was a very doted and loving husband upon you.
Yes, he was.
Because I know there's promises here, and this is where I want to correct something I said with Dad, because it was with husband. You must have talked about the spirit world with your husband.
Yes, I did. Often.
Because it's almost where I want to keep a promise that I'm looking after you as well. And again, I'm still helping the son with the golf and watching over the family. But most of all, I'm watching over you. And I know you said before the gathering, you've broken your arm or something, haven't you?
Yeah, I broke my wrist, yeah.
Okay. Would you understand where your husband, he was a very caring man, but he'd find the funny side of things as well?
Absolutely.
Because it's almost like, well, it's your own fault for tripping over. So I know there's just that sense of humor with him, but I know he's very caring underneath. And I also feel as well that it's either his birthday that's coming up or just about now.
No, but someone else's.
I thank you very much for doing my job, but I know there's a birthday coming up round about now, though.
Just been, yes.
That's fine, because I know it's very important to him as well, and he wants to acknowledge it. And he wants to actually be a little bit sarcastic and say, see, I didn't forget people's birthdays. Good. So I'm going to leave your husband's love, your father's love, but that understanding that both of them are looking after you from above and keeping an eye on the family as well. And in that golf bag, there should have been scorecards and pencils that you must still have, Mary.
No, they're still in the bag.
They're still in the bag, because I know he, okay, that's fine, because I know he just keeps on showing me that. So I'm going to leave their love with you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bear with me. One last thing from your husband. Do you understand where he could be a little bit blue in a funny way?
Yes.
Because I'm not going to do what he's just tried to get me to say and tell a joke about. But if I said he came home with more golf balls than he went out with, would you understand?
Absolutely.
Because it feels like I want to borrow them as I find them. So again, I know it's that sense of humor here.
Yes.
And I know there's golf balls still left of his that won't be used and never will be used as a mark of respect. And I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you, Phil. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Phil.
Good, good. He was a little bit naughty. There was a few jokes about golf balls and things. I thought, can't do that.
We keep it clean on our Sunday gathering.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Oh, we hope. As I become aware of that spirit world again, and I know here I've got a lady, and I know with this lady it feels like sister, but I also know with sister she's a little bit of a live wire because I'm feeling a little bit uneasy and nervous because I don't know what's going to come out of her mouth, because I know that she could be quite blunt to the point, but I also know with the way that she said things, she could be quite, how can I put this? It's almost like I don't want to beat about the bush. So I know there will be memories when we're out and about where she could be quite loud and boisterous on nights out, where she would blurt things out that could be quite embarrassing. But I also know with her that she, and I'm not getting the exact age, but I get that feeling that I'm no older than 30s, 40s, because I know I'm still full of life. And my passing was a shock and very sudden.
Thank you very much, Phil. All right, friends, if you can understand this beautiful woman, go ahead and press your raise hand button. Well, Phil, we have Joe and Kerry both with their hands raised.
There's something I want to go back to because I felt she was sister. If there's just something I want to say, it's almost like we adopted her as a sister. In other words, we were very close friends. So I know she's not a blood sister, but I know she was a friend that was almost adopted into the family.
Thank you very much. Now the hands went down.
Ah, now then. Let's see where I've gone wrong then, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, that's fine. Okay. Then I'm just going to turn this round slightly. I want to stay with sister, but I know there's something here. Either she was a half sister or sister-in-law. I know there's something a little bit different.
A little bit extra on the sister. Okay, Kerry and Joe, can you understand what Phil is getting at here? If so, press your raise hand button again. We have Donna Marie with her hand raised.
Okay, let's bring Donna Marie in because I want to just I know there's something I've not quite placed right, and I want to make sure I get it right.
Hi, Donna Marie.
Hi, it was sister-in-law, and it was a very sudden passing.
But okay, would you understand, Donna, that with sister-in-law, she could be full of life, a little bit naughty, and a little bit direct, close to the knuckle?
She was direct on very rare occasion. That's why it fooled me a bit.
Okay, that's fine. Because I know when Sandra said keep it clean, it was almost like I heard a laughter and a naughtiness with it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
agree.
Here. There's something not sitting right with me here, Donna.
No.
Just hold your horses, stay there paused. Can we get one of the young ladies to come back in?
Kerry has raised her hand.
Okay,
Kerry,
good.
if you can unmute yourself. Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Phil.
Hello, Kerry. How are you? Hope you're well.
Oh, I'm good. How are you, Phil?
I'm very well. I'm very well. So would you understand everything I've said? But I know there's something not quite right with the sister I have described.
I understand everything that you said except the sister.
The sister. So would it be right in saying if she's not sister, she's like a friend?
Yes.
That's what I wanted, because I knew there's some, but you were that close. Either people mistaked you as sisters or said you should be sisters.
Yes.
That's fine. That's what I wanted. So thank you for the other young ladies coming in. I'm going to work with Kerry. But with Kerry, would you understand that she could be a little bit blue, a little bit naughty?
Oh, gosh. Absolutely. Oh, my
Because
gosh. Yes.
I've got to be so careful with my words because I feel like she's pushing. It's almost like how many times I can get away with things and push people's boundaries.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I'm not saying she was foul-mouthed because I don't feel she was. Even though I know there was one or two words, I just feel she was so close to the knuckle, she made people feel uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
But I also know with her that if she didn't like somebody, they knew it.
Absolutely.
But I also am right here as well. When she liked a young gentleman, they also knew it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel with her, she wasn't backwards at coming forward. She was straight to the point, and she could embarrass a few young gentlemen.
Oh, blunt. Yes.
Because she's willing me to say it, and I can't. But I know that she could leave the young gentleman in no uncertain terms what she likes, what she wants, and everything else.
Yes.
But I've also said she was close your ears, my dear. She was quite a good-looking lady.
She had such a beautiful face. Yes.
Because I get the sense that she melted people and people were quite bowled over with her.
Yes. Her heart. Yes.
Exactly. But I get the sense with her as well, even though there was all this fun and it was almost like a mask covering over insecurities inside.
Yes.
Because I know there was troubles within the family home.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I feel that was her way of escaping those issues and troubles, because as I acknowledge, and she moved me away from them just to say, well, this is how I covered up and this is how I was. But again, she liked to be the center of attention.
100%.
And again, if she walked in a bar, she didn't just walk straight to the bar. She would walk around the bar to get everyone's attention. And you know,
Yes.
I can't do this. I can't do this advert, but I know there's an advert Vogue or something where or L'Oreal, and they blush the hair. I know that she could do that in front of people, and she could take the attention of the men. But I also know she wound the women up with it as well.
Yes. Yes.
But I also believe that people were quite brazen with her, where even at like nights out, they would slip little notes to the barman to pass on to her and things.
I'm not sure about that, but she knew the barman.
But again, I just feel she had a sense of humor. If she didn't like somebody that paid her a little bit of attention, she'd either give them the wrong telephone number and things.
That's her. That's her.
Okay? Because I just get the sense where I want to give her your telephone number and you get the calls and everything else, because I just feel she finds that side of things funny.
Yes, absolutely.
That's fine.
Character.
And would I be right in saying that she had the attitude of, if I've got it, flaunt it?
Absolute. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Because I'm having to really tame her down a little bit, because it's a Sunday service in a way. But I also know as well that she didn't like any. In fact, if somebody tried to tame her down or put her in a box or pigeonhole her, she would rebel. She would fight.
Oh no, yeah, no, yeah. Couldn't do that.
I've just got this impression with her. But there must be memories of where we went out together at 2 bars and drinks and everything else.
Mainly for her birthdays, yes.
Okay, but on those birthdays, we must have not just had regular drinks. There must have been cocktails.
Oh yes.
Because
yes.
It feels I want to talk about names of cocktails like Sex on the Beach, if I believe that one.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of her favorite drinks.
Clarification. But I also know there must be memories from those birthdays where we were a little bit worse for wear and walking about in high heels. She would take them off and walk barefooted.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she was done.
Because again, I get this impression, but it didn't matter where she went, where she was. She wouldn't change for anybody. And even now in the spirit world, she won't change. She's very much that impression. And if I said this was a few years ago, Kerry, because she's showing me dresses, she says, I bet she doesn't wear them anymore. So I know we used to go out all dolled up.
Yeah, no, I don't wear those anymore.
Exactly, sort of thing. That's fine. But I also know here, as I work with her, she's not on her own. It just feels with her that you have a husband in the spirit world as well.
Yes, yes.
And if I said your husband and her will get on like a house on fire.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Because
yes.
I feel that husband is winding her up and teasing her, because I know he had that ability. But I want to say this. Your girlfriend, where she would act up with everybody, she's been the perfect lady with your husband.
Yes.
Out of respect for you, because she knew when to be good and when not to be good. And I want to say, even though she's larger than life, sometimes she'd be very quiet being good.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I also know as well that it's almost like I want to show you the change of mark of respect, because I feel, Kerry, you helped her so much in her life by giving her good advice.
I did.
Okay. But I also know as well that you, in a way, with your husband was like your best friend as well.
Yes.
And
yes,
I know you doted on your husband, and I know you did things for him, like bring him his lunch at work.
I did on occasion. Yes, I did.
And would I be right in saying he worked in construction?
Yes, yes.
And would I be right also in saying that some of these constructions were tall buildings?
Occasionally, yes.
Because I feel I want to be going, there's something funny here. Would I be right in saying he was scared of heights?
Yes, he was.
Because it feels like I want to go up on one of those cranes or lifts on the outside of the building. And I know my legs have gone weak, so I know he didn't like heights either.
No, he didn't.
Okay. But I want to say as well that you must have nursed your husband before he passed.
No, I didn't.
Oh, just clear no, that. Thank you very much. Bear with me. Would I be right in saying your husband passed very quickly, almost like a because I've got this sense of going quickly. But I want to just stick to my truth. You must have gone to see him afterwards to make sure he looked okay.
I did.
And you must have dressed him or given him the clothes to be dressed in.
No.
There's just something about getting him looking right. Then you must have either said something to the funeral home about making him look right.
No.
That's fine. Don't worry about saying no to me, because my job is to go back. But thank you very much. That I've got it the wrong way around. You would look after him when he was going out, making sure he looked okay. You would either make sure that I've got it. Think, would I be right in saying you pick his clothes?
I did sometimes, yes, when
That's
we'd go
fine,
out.
because I know here I couldn't go away. I know it was about dressing him. I thought it was my fault, my mistake, but I know it's about making him look right. And I know that sometimes he didn't have the greatest of confidence, but I know you instilled that in him as well.
Absolutely, Phil.
Okay, good. And what I want to say, excuse me, what I want to say is that they're both with you, but it's about supporting you now and moving you forward in life, but getting you out and enjoying life that little bit more. Because as I'm saying that, I've just heard the ching of the cocktails with the both of them, and I know they're both fine and well in the spirit world, but it's about getting you on the right tracks and lifting your mood at the moment.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So
Thank you
absolute
so much.
pleasure to have that wonderful time with your friend and your husband. One last thing with your husband. Your husband could be a little bit difficult at times as well.
Yeah, he'd get in his moods.
Exactly, because I know he's gone in a little bit of a mood now because he doesn't want to leave. And I'm just saying, well, we have to move on, sir. But I know if he didn't get his way or didn't have that time with you or didn't get that affection, he could get a little bit moody.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know we all love our loved ones in the spirit world and talk to them regular, but just recently you've been quite busy in life.
True. Yes.
And I know that thought's not been with him all the time, and he's just saying a little bit more thought towards me. So I know he's still that little caring. He could be quite protective and a little bit jealous as well.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
He was.
because it's almost that little bit of insecurity I detect in him as well. So I'm going to leave their love with you, but know that they're with you in every thought, in every footstep of life, really trying to move you forward for that year coming ahead, and say thank you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Phil.
You're absolutely welcome. It's an
Okay.
absolute
Merry
pleasure.
Christmas. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. We're getting naughty ones today.
You never know.
I hope this one's right, because this is a little bit naughty. Okay. I feel I've got somebody's son in the spirit world, and I know he is a bit of a character. And when I say that, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me a second, because I'm trying to work out how to present this quite cleanly, because I just feel that he had with son, or this young boy, he would have a learning difficulty, and it feels where he would forget to get dressed, and everything's showing. So it's just like the politest way to put this. So I know he's got that real freedom about him, but I know here he's very early in years. I feel that I don't feel I'm reaching those teenage years here, but I want to say he's a very loving young boy. And I know there seems to be either some kind of either hereditary or some kind of disease that takes him to the spirit world, but I know he was born with it.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who can understand this lovely young man? Please press your raise hand button.
I can't believe how clean I've been with that one.
There are no hands up just yet, Phil.
That's absolutely fine. There must be a memory. If I've got it wrong with son, somebody would know a young boy in the spirit world with learning difficulties. And I know I'm going to be really clean here. He would water the plants anywhere, being out and about. And I know there's funny, it's like, oh my God, here he goes again. I know there's a memory about this. I can't put it any other way. I can't dress it. I can't keep it clean any longer.
All right.
And the person I want to connect to would understand the name of Michael, but I feel Michael is here, still living.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you might need to think out of the box here. It might not be an immediate loved one, but just have a think. The spirit world knows who's with us. Allison, you have your hand raised. Allison, could you press your unmute button? Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Hello, Alison. Lovely to meet you. Do you understand everything I've said?
Young man, Michael, and not related to me, but close, very, very close to me.
Okay. And would you understand with this young boy that I was talking about, and I don't want to go into detail with it, but he had learning difficulties?
Yes.
And where I talked about where he would water the plants, you understand I'm being very polite there?
Possibly, yes.
Because again, there's just something not right here. I'm going to work with it a little bit, but I want to understand it. I actually get the impression, Alison, would it be right in saying he needed carers?
No.
That's what I mean. I don't feel right. So somebody's not coming forward. So I'm just going to hold that. Thank you for coming forward, because I know we needed that round the clock care here. And I actually feel where the ability was, the mind's not as it should be, but I know there was either some kind of heart defect there as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand this information, or you're getting that little gut instinct, like, oh, this is me.
It actually feels, Sandra, I want to be talking to a carer of some kind that either would have cared for him or knew about him.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because I can't change this, I can't make it fit. There's just no other way as I look at it that I can work with it.
No hands are up, Phil.
That's fine. Bear with you. There's just something here I want to look at where just a little subtle change. I know I said thank you. I think I understand. I want to talk about the watering of plants and things, but I want that when he was younger. I've got the age wrong. I know he passes a little bit older than that. And I know that there's, I do have somebody's son. I know I have somebody's son. And I know Michael is, I actually want to say Michael's his name because I can't move away from it. The way that the mind is, it's almost like I want to stay with him. So somebody must have a son in the spirit world called Michael.
Thank you, Phil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give a raised hand if you can understand the son in the spirit world named Michael. We got Danielle with her hand raised. We'll see what she can take here. Danielle, if you could unmute yourself. Hi, Danielle.
Hi there. Hello.
Hello, Danielle. What do you understand of what I've said?
I can take that. I know I had a patient that I wasn't his caregiver all the time. I was the case manager. His name was Michael. He died at an older age, but he had issues.
Okay, because I know there was something I got wrong about his age, but as I went back to the information, I did feel Michael was his name, okay? Wouldn't you understand, even though you didn't care for him a lot, he could be quite a loving young man?
Oh, yeah, he was very lovely.
Because it feels like I want to be hands-on, but I want to say that issue with his mind, even though he got older, it's almost like in the mindset, he never really got older.
Yes, yes.
Because it feels like I'm dealing with a young boy, but I know the physical feeling is somebody older. But I also want to say that even as he got older, that he still would have done things like a sweet young boy, almost like acts of kindness.
Yes, he was very sweet.
And would I be right in saying that he would help other children that were around him being cared for?
Yes, he had similar.
Because it feels like I want to bring things to people. I want to be helpful, because there's a mindset there of almost like, it's going to sound contradictory, but in one way, even though his mind's not growing, in another way, he's got quite a sensible mind.
Yes.
As well. But would I be right in saying towards the end, he either lost the functions of his limbs and bodily functions?
Yes, he did.
Because I know as I get that little bit older, I need more care. And that's where I felt I wanted that care. But would I be right in saying he needed round the clock care?
He did. Yeah, at the end, yes.
But also there must have been a little frustration within him that you saw, because he wanted to be like every other child and every other person.
Yes, definitely.
And I want to say he tried to do things he wasn't quite capable of.
Yes, he did earlier on. Yeah.
And if I said he was quite fond of the ladies in a platonic way,
Yeah.
because it feels like where I wanted to say I wanted to be like a everyday person, it feels like I wanted that relationship. So there must have been a sense of independence with him.
Yeah, earlier on, yes.
That's fine, because it almost feels where, in a way, I feel cheated. But I want to say the reason I know I'm here is to say thank you for that care. Thank you for, and there must be other children in the spirit world you cared for, Danielle, as well.
A couple, yeah.
Because again, I just feel I'm not on my own, I'm with other people, but I get the sense here that it's about the thank you for the care and the work that you've done. Would I also be right in saying that your mum is in the spirit world as well?
No. No,
Ooh,
she's not.
bear with me. Thank you for the no. Then if I'm wrong here, would I be right in saying you have mother-in-law?
Yes,
Because I couldn't change. I've got that feeling of mother. If it's not mother, it has to be mother-in-law. And would you understand where she was very much her own person? She did things her own way.
yes.
And I also feel with her, and I don't feel, you must have an Auntie Margaret in the spirit world as well. Yes or
That
no?
doesn't ring a bell. No.
Doesn't ring. Then let me take the relationship away. You would understand a lady in the spirit world called Margaret.
Not this coming to me.
But I know this is, would I be right in saying, thank you, Mum has still got the old photographs of all the people in the family?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because I know on the back of these photographs, there should be the name of Margaret. So you can check on that and get back to me, because I know I'm right with that as well. But I just feel here that contact is all about that young boy wanting just to say thank you. And it's almost like I want to say from him, you loved that care work that you did, because it really filled you with pride.
Yes, I did.
Because I know he's trying to give you that pride right here and right now for you. So I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you as well.
Thank you very much, Phil.
That's fine. Don't forget about the Margaret. Don't forget to come back to me. But I've also got another lady with me as well. So I'm going to say thank you, Daniela, for allowing me to do this.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Phil.
Good. So as I become aware of the spirit world again, I know that I have Mum, and I actually want to stay with the name I've just used. I want to talk about Margaret in the spirit world being mother, but I also feel with Margaret, mother, it's almost like I want her to be either named after her mum or another lady in the spirit world as well.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who can understand this information? Press your raise hand button, please. Patricia has her hand raised, and Geraldine. We have two.
People. But I actually want to say with Mum, as I work with her and become more aware of her, it's almost like I don't want to talk about anything negative, any illness or anything. So I know she could be quite strong-minded, and I know there's a stubborn side to her as well. So one of our two ladies would understand that.
Thank you very much. Patricia and Geraldine, you both still have your hands raised to this information. Correct.
Still with them both?
Both.
Yep, okay. Because I just feel that Mum didn't want that care at the end of life. It's almost like I want to be as independent as I can, and I know that caused a little bit of stubbornness or an issue as well.
Thank you. Both hands remain raised. Would you like to hear their voices, or not quite yet?
Do you know what? Let's bring Patricia in, because because as I looked at the names, I just felt drawn towards Patricia. Let's see what happens there.
All
Then we'll
right.
get Geraldine if that doesn't work.
Hello.
Hello, Patricia. How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good, good. So you understand everything I've said?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I do.
And would you understand with your mum that she could be quite stubborn and a little bit hard work towards the end of life?
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't feel like I want people's help. I want to do things my way.
Yes.
And I don't feel that's just with you and family, but I feel that would have been with doctors and nurses.
Yes.
Because it feels like I want to refuse treatment or refuse medication.
Correct.
And it just feels I'll do it on my terms. And I feel that she ended up taking the medication, but it almost like took that bit of time to get her to do that.
Yes.
Because it feels like she actually would have said, I want to go out on my terms.
She threw the medication across the room.
That's fine, because I know here it just feels where I want to stick to my guns. And I want to say, even though she was a little bit hard work, I want to say that that side of her could be quite positive in a younger life, because she was a very determined lady.
Yes.
And I want to say she doesn't take no for an answer.
Yes.
Because I know as I'm working with her and say, come on, talk to me that little bit more, it's almost you do it my way or you do it the highway, you do without sort of thing. So I know she could be very, very strong.
You're right, Phil.
Okay. I also feel that as well, if you went to her for advice, she could give you tough love. She would tell you quite straight.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that she didn't like people prying into her private life as well?
Absolutely correct.
Because it feels like I've got a fight on my hands trying to get to know her and trying to unfold her and trying to get her to talk to me. So I know she was very private, and I know that she would often either deflect away from conversations about herself.
Yes.
And I know if somebody asked her a direct question about herself, she would blank them. She'd just ignore it.
Yes.
But I also feel she quite enjoyed being like that.
Oh, yes. And
Because
she
it
was
feels
the
that
queen
as
of
I'm saying this, I'm
diversionary
getting
chat.
a little bit of a smile, a little bit of a stubbornness, and a very much a enjoyment side of it, because I know people knew what she was doing and what she was like.
Yes, Phil.
And when the family got together, would I be right in saying she liked to know everybody else's business?
Yes.
But when you turn it around, and she was, sorry for using this term, but she was like a dog with a bone. Once she got a sniff of something, she wouldn't let go, would she?
You're correct.
And I also know ethics and morals was really important. People had to tell the truth.
Yes.
And if I said that it was very seldom that she said, I like them, would you understand?
Yes.
Because she's just said, I've got the feeling with this as well. She's just said to me, I like you. And I've just got the feeling with it. So I know I'm in that privileged position, because
Yes.
even though I'm asking the questions and I'm allowing her to do what she wants to do, I'm not pushing her into places, because she didn't feel comfortable with pushy people.
Correct. But
And-
you're dressed nice, Phil.
Oh, I know she dressed nice, but I also
No, you are.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay. Oh, I wish you hadn't said that. Would I
Oh,
be
I
right
beg
in
your
saying
pardon.
that she could be a bit of a character as well?
Yes,
And when it came to men that are dressed nice, she passed comment on.
absolutely.
And I know that she does this in fun, but she'd go and put her arm around one of them, or there would be a memory of that.
Yes.
So Kerry, don't get jealous, but she's just put a hand on my chest. And I'm like, okay, that's enough. Okay. But I know she's purely platonic with it.
Yes.
And I also know from the conversation I'm having with her that she makes me aware she didn't, because I'm jumping here. Oh, that's a trait of it. I almost missed that. I know where I talked about her touching my chest and being a little bit fun but platonic. When it was what happened in Vegas stayed in Vegas. So I know she had that sense of humor as well.
Yes.
Okay. But I also feel, because she deflected to something else, she didn't like pushy salespeople.
Correct.
And I also know, as I pull her back towards the dress of men, she liked to be well dressed as well.
Yes.
And I know it's almost like I want to be wearing matching jacket and skirt. It's got to be like a suit type.
Yes. Yes.
But I know it's not got to be any. It's got to have a name to it of really good quality.
Yes.
Your mum was very clever though with her money.
She was.
Because it feels like, would I be right in saying that she used to go into dress agencies, particular ones that had high class fashion in?
Yes.
Like boutiques, because I feel your mum swapped labels round.
Oh, that I don't know.
Because again, I know she's very good with money because I can see her, but I also know I've got what she's mum, she's teasing me, because I just feel your mum knew a good bargain when she saw one.
Oh, you hit the nail.
And I also know she passed that on to you because you must have gone shopping with her.
Yes.
Because I know there's a trait there. Now, I know you don't swap labels, but I know that that's just her impression here. But it's all about dignity. It's all about presence with your mother. It's about what you bring out and what people see is really important. So I know Mum did not like to be seen towards the end of her life because I know she didn't feel she looked her best.
Correct.
And I know she refused people coming to see her.
Yes.
But I want to say, before she passed, you must have sat with her talking to her.
Yes.
And I know she confessed to you where she said, thank you for helping her at the end.
Yes, she did.
Because I know there's an extreme wave of love from her to you as I talk and converse to you with her. And that there's, Mum struggled with her emotions showing them, didn't she?
Correct.
But I know here she's not struggling because this sense of love and pride of you. But again, you must have, I'm really sorry to say this, Patricia, you must have looked in the mirror recently and said, my word, I look just like my mum.
Yes.
Because she's laughing with it and saying, be careful what you ask for. Would I be right in saying, just before I leave, that she liked not just fashion, but she wore glasses, but they had to match the outfit as well?
Yeah, and very reluctantly.
I know, because I know everything has to look right, but even when she needed them, she took them off. So I know there was that real pride there with herself, not just about appearance, but it was that age where it caught up. And I want to say that she became more mature gracefully.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave that love with you. But no, she's very much around you because I keep on getting scent of a perfume. So I know she's trying to do everything she can to get your attention. So just be aware of this. I'm going to say thank you very much, Patricia, for allowing me to bring that your mum forward.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I want to say one thing before I leave. I want to say she's got her strength back. She's dancing again, and she's got that weight back to her as well.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you, Phil.
She's not finished. She must have liked to do the cha-cha or that old-fashioned dancing.
Yes.
Because I know here, I know I've not quite got it right with the name of the, I can see it. I think it's the Charleston actually, because I know it's that because I know it's about being alive. Your mum's trying to say, I'm very much alive, and she wants that feeling with you to be alive. So I'm going to leave you with that loving feeling and that alive feeling and say thank you very, very much for allowing me to do that.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And back over to the lovely Sandra. It's an absolute pleasure to work on behalf of the spirit world, to get involved with their stories and their personalities, and because we get to see how they live. And it's a true pleasure for me, Kerry, and every medium that works in this way, because we get to see them. But to be their voice, which is the theme today, that one voice, is incredible. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sending your support and love and being here. And I'm going to hand you over back to the wonderful Sandra Champlain.
Oh, thank you so much, Phil, for that demonstration of mediumship and all the hard work you and Kerry have done to develop yourselves and teach. Oh, love you guys so much. It's tough going into this time of year. It's tough all the times of year when we have our loved ones that are no longer physically with us. And I'm just asking you guys to be totally compassionate and with yourselves, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're experiencing. Your loved ones are very much alive, as we tell now by Patricia's mom. They are alive, they are well, they are healthy, they're living their best life, and they know exactly what we are doing. And apparently, I know exactly where Phil is. Look at him. Oh my goodness. Silly Philly. Silly Philly. I couldn't be happier that these two are with me. I'm really good. Through the moon excited. Through the moon excited. But anyways, be gentle on yourself. Just some announcements with some things coming up. First of all, in January, we will start our classes again. I don't have the registration open yet, but I should this coming week. Mondays, we'll have time with Scott Milligan and trance development. And Tuesdays, it's going to be a new year, new start with Kerry and Phil. And Wednesdays, for people that are interested in mediumship, the entryway is our Psychic Wednesdays and Mediumship Thursdays. So stay tuned on that. We'll have some information coming up soon. But coming up also, if you have heard us talk about Sonia Rinaldi, the researcher in Brazil who captures images and voices of people in the afterlife, she's going to be doing a special presentation with us next Sunday, about a half hour after our Sunday gathering ends. You don't want to miss it. And even if you can't join us live, you can register, you'll get the replay. She always does some amazing things and has some beautiful pictures to share of loved ones. In fact, anyone who registers, we're going to be doing a raffle, and live in person, I will pull a name and one lucky person will have an opportunity to work personally with Sonia, which is something she does not offer. So anyways, so that's a great thing. Also, our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley, on the 20th of December, they're going to be doing a grief cafe. They're both advanced grief recovery specialists. It's going to be a free event. It will not be recorded. It'll be a good place to learn about grief and also to share if you feel like you would like to do that. Very, very safe. And we know grief is at a maximum this time of year, so you may want to check that out. Also on the 23rd, Friday the 23rd, Scott Milligan and myself will be together with the Spirit World. He is a trance medium. We are going to be doing a special 90-minute demonstration for you. Well, he'll be doing it with his spirit team. It's to benefit the Demelza House Children's Hospice. So it's not a free event. We ask whatever you can give. We gratefully pass it along towards this children's hospice that takes care of so many families and so many children. So if you'd like to join us for that, we will be having our Sunday gathering on Christmas. Yes, we will. Believe it or not. Yes, Christmas and New Year's for sure. I want to thank everyone who has donated to our Sunday gathering. Your dollars and cents make a difference. So thank you so much for that. Also, I was just doing a little math because I thought Kerry's talking about one voice and legacy, and I have two podcasts. I've got We Don't Die Radio, and I've got Shades of the Afterlife, the new one on iHeartRadio. And I thought, okay, I got 389 episodes on one, 112 on the other. That's 501 episodes about the afterlife. None of us have a magic wand, and I so wish I could just give you a thumb drive and you could download all the experiences I've had and all the conversations, because you would know beyond a shadow of a doubt how real the afterlife is. But it takes something. So if you want to listen, this would be a good time of year to get out of your own head, which isn't always telling us the most positive things. In fact, 99% of the time, I know, because I live in one, we're not empowering to ourselves. So our home base is WeDon'tDie.com. And from there, if you go to the store page, you can register for any one of those things I just spoke about. If you click on the radio show tab at the top, you can go to either podcast and see what strikes your fancy is what kind of thing you want to listen to. There's also a Sunday gathering link at the top where you can watch a whole bunch of past Sunday gatherings and also register for next week. And yeah, I think that's it for announcements. But yes, be gentle on yourself. To find that one voice, to find your legacy. All my life I've been looking for, well, what's my life purpose? What is it? Boy, I've worn different hats all my life. I've done all kinds of different jobs. But you know what? I think our legacy is not what we do, but who we are being. So I'm always someone who likes to share. I like to make a difference. I like to learn. So my self-expression has followed me through in each and every one of those. And it often comes from your fears, where we start our soul growth, or if a loved one passes. And long ago, I took a course and we had to come up with what's called an impossible promise. And it's like, what do you give your life for? Well, at the time, I had no idea. And there was no evidence that I could be doing what came out of my mouth. But I said, what I've always been doing is really looking for evidence of the afterlife. And who I've been being is curious about it. And I'm still that little girl at heart that loves Disney, loves magic, loves creating, loves the adventure of it all. And I had just started researching for myself, looking for evidence of the afterlife. So in this class, my impossible promise was by the year 2027, all people would know that we are souls having a human experience, that we don't die, and life is a playground for the soul. So that came out of my mouth. That was written down. There was no evidence of that, none. And that was 2002, maybe. So here we are 20 years later, and look at the path that I've been on. Look at what has come into my life and the people. And I can't make a guarantee on this, but I know when you're passionate about something and you start walking that path, the God, universe, spirit world, whatever you want to call that, wants you to be happy. You are one of a kind. You have your own self-expression. You don't have to write books. You don't need podcasts, but just be you. And when you can be who you are, there is this ripple effect that allows other people to be who they are. In that, I think there's this divine magic that if you are who you want to be and you share who you are, you naturally make lives a little bit better. And the spirit world or God or the universe will reward you, because little did I know, they rewarded me with the best friends I could ever ask for in life. And they're staying here with me at my house. To me, that's a miracle. So I'm ever so grateful. So be grateful this holiday season. Keep talking to your loved ones. They're right with you. They want you to be happy. They're healthy, whole, well, perfect. They've just gone on a trip before you've gotten there, but they are very much alive. Okay, so keep talking to them, and we want miracles for you. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Phil for our closing prayer.
Thank you very much, Sandra. And it is lovely to be in the room next door to you. It has been an absolute delight to spend this Sunday gathering with you from the lovely Sandra Champlain's home. But as all good things come to an end, we draw this gathering to an end in prayer. Divine and ever-present creative force of life, that creative force through which we have our very breath that brings that life that brings the legacy. Allow us as we move through the week to come, the days and the weeks, to feel that presence and that knowing that our loved ones and friends in the spirit world walk beside us, and that we choose every moment to create that lasting effect on ourselves, the people around us, and the world around us too. Allow ourselves to engage in that power that has one voice. Amen.
Thank you so much, Kerry. And thank you to our friends, wherever in the world you are, just let that light shine. And of course, thank you to my roommates here, Kerry and Phil. We're going to go into our closing song, and it's two sweet sisters, 8 and 9 years old, that just have a happy message to share this holiday season, a song we all know. Yes, that was a little more Sandra magic. It was the end. So that was some 3 cute little elves twerking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go register for next week. And we thank you so very much. Thanks for all the nice messages in the chat box. We've read them all. We love you. We appreciate you. You are part of our family. Go have a great day. Thank you.